Students, in this video lesson, I want to teach you the procedure of drama teaching. You know what is drama? Drama is narration of a story in the form of dialogues. The dialogues are there, the dramatic events are there, and dramatic postures, gestures, and postures are there. Now, when we teach drama, the main objective of the teacher is to reveal or express the story of the drama vividly with the help of the dialogues. Now, how many types of dialogues are there in a drama? We have to know. The one type of dialogue is generally understood by all the students is conversation between the characters. And there are some other unique dialogues. Namely, one type of dialogue is monologue. What do you mean by monologue? Monologue is a statement of a character or speech by a character. Speech by a character when the other characters will not be able to listen to that. Generally, it's a long speech that is known as monologue. And soliloquy is another form of unique dialogue. Soliloquy means the word itself reveal. Soliloquy means a form of solitude. The character is in solitude. The character is lonely, and from his own understanding or from his own emotion, he or she is revealing the intention of the character. Here also the audience can hear the soliloquy, but the soliloquy is not heard by the other characters. And another sort of unique dialogue is aside. Aside means a short speech to the audience that the characters cannot hear. So, in case of soliloquy, the character is present on the stage, lonely. The lonely presence of the character on the stage is, and utterance of words expressing the character's emotion is known as soliloquy. So these sort of dialogues are there. These are unique forms of dialogues, and these are used frequently by the playwright to unreveal the purpose of the character, and the intent of the character. And the main thing of the drama is stage direction. So when you teach drama, you must be aware of the stage direction. So how the stage is arranged, what are the things arranged on the stage, what are the props used on the stage to establish the situation, the ambience of the time and space of the characters. I will refer to one drama written by Saint John Irving. The name of the drama is Progress. The chief motion of the drama is anti-war motion. So against the war. And there are three characters. One is Professor Corey. Professor Corey is a big shot. He is a great scientist, and he is present in his laboratory, and he is a warmonger. The second character is the sister of Professor Corey. She is a widow. She suffers from bereavement of her husband and son. She lost her son in the war. So she is in favor of peace. The name of the character is Mrs. Meldon. And the third character is Hannah. Hannah is the maid servant of Professor Corey and Mrs. Meldon. So the drama starts in the laboratory of Professor Corey, the scientist, and as usual, the Professor Corey is not very interested about his personal belonging, not interested about his dress or proper dress code, but the Professor Corey is wearing a robe or an apron, and he is very much engaged in his experiment. And several times Mrs. Meldon calls Professor Corey that the tea is ready, but the Professor Corey cannot hear or cannot reply to this, because he is completely engaged, completely dipped into profoundly in his experiment. And all on a sudden he shouts, "Eureka, Eureka, Eureka." That means I have got it. What he has got? He has got the formula of a bomb. He had become successful to invent a formula for the bomb, and the bomb is so powerful that it will be able to destroy a big area, even a country, within a few minutes. Because Professor Corey belongs to those group of scientists who has seen the existence of First World War for a long time, and the destruction took place slowly but steadily and brutally. And in that First World War, Mrs. Meldon lost her only son, Eddie, and also she has lost her husband, and her husband actually died out of bereavement of his only son. Now this is the situation. So the stage direction is given very explicitly, as because it is a place in London or in Great Britain. So the weather is cold, and there is a fireplace in the room, and some woods are burning inside the fireplace, and several equipments, scientific equipments are there on the table of Professor Corey, and Professor Corey is engaged with his scientific equipments, and along with different chemicals. and all on a sudden he shouts that Eureka, Eureka. That means I have got it. What he has got? Now, Mrs. Meldon asked the question, what have you got? Then Professor Corey replies to her query that he has got a formula, he has invented a formula which is only known to him and which is able to destroy a lot, which is able to make a great devastation. So, what is the intent of the intention of Professor Corey behind this invention of formula? It is made clear by Professor Corey himself. He wants to sell it to the statesmen, to the prime ministers, to the presidents of any of the country. He has not done for the sake of his own country only. Whichever country will pay more, he is ready to sell the formula to that country. So the intention is very clear. The intention is fulfillment of desire. There is a great greed acting behind the invention. Huge greed for money is behind this invention, and at the same time Professor Corey enjoys destruction. When Mrs. Meldon says and begs of Professor Corey to leave this formula, to forget this formula forever, not to sell it, not to hand it over to any of the statesmen, because it may be used for destruction, and so many mothers like her will be similarly will suffer from similar bereavement of their son. So many children will die, so many young people will die, and ultimately a great crisis will appear in the country. So she is in favor of peace, and continuously Mrs. Meldon went on asking for destruction of the invention, not to reveal the formula to anybody, but Professor Corey refuses. So that is the tussle between Professor Corey and Mrs. Meldon, and ultimately at the dramatic climax, that means when the climax reached at the top, then after having been made several attempts and being failed to pursue his brother to leave this formula, she stabs, she murders his brother. She murders her brother, and Professor Corey dies. This is the end of the drama. So there is a dramatic climax. That dramatic climax has to be brought in the class. The stage direction is to be revealed, and the intention of different characters are also to be revealed, so that the characters will be very much clear to the students, and they will come to know what is the significance of this drama. What is the significance? What does the playwright want to tell through this drama? Want to convey the message through this drama? That is very important. If you are successful to convey the message to your students, and if they get very much interested, and if they find it very much joyful to listen to the drama, reading out the dialogues, then you are a successful teacher. Okay, these are the procedures of teaching drama, and so you are to make precisely, you have to make uh, the story, you have to make the story reach the students successfully. That is the objective of drama teaching. Thank you.